Hi everyone, this is Kelly, the Property Hunter. Welcome back to our channel, the best place for property investors and homeowners. Alright, in today's episode of ATE, Ask the Experts, we have here with us Martin, the founder of Schemacraft Interiors, who's going to share with us some tips, on how we can go about saving some costs when it comes to home renovation. Alright, Martin, welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Alright, Martin, can you share with us a little bit more about yourself? How long you have been in the interior design industry?
I have about 13 years of experience in this industry, and then this company was opened in 2014, so it's about 8 years myself. Then, so I started out as I graduated from NAFA, and then I practiced in interior design and filming, so it's a mixture. So in a way, it has been fruitful and very fun journey during all this 13 years. Yes.
Yeah, that's good to know. Okay. All right, so now let's go to our topic today. So Martin, I want to check with you. There are a lot of home buyers, right? When they go around looking for houses to buy,
yes.
What advice do you have for them? Like, what are the things they should keep a lookout for when viewing for a home, so that they can avoid some extra renovation costs, or what things should they be looking out for that can help them save some money?
Okay, so most importantly is, of course, we go in to look for if there's any cracks on the walls. Okay, why cracks? Because it can lead to a lot of problems like seepage, water seepage. Okay, one thing is that. The other thing is, of course, all the hardwares like windows, doors, and all this. Actually, all this can save up quite a big chunk of cost from there. And of course, like checking on floorings, like especially parquet wood, I think in good condition, or even floorings like marble floorings, tiles. All this actually can save up quite a chunk.
How can I tell that they are in good condition? How to tell?
Okay, so for tiles, very simple. Tiles, we can look for like if there are chips, cracks. Or okay. So basically this are just the two main thing to look for tiles. So if you find none of it appears from there, then it's considered good condition. And of course, some people loves to bring a small little hammer to knock around if there's any hollow.
Oh really?
Yeah, some
okay.
homeowners actually do that.
Okay.
Which is a little funny, but it works.
Okay, so this is a very good tip. So a small little hammer and then go and knock and check if there's any hollow. Okay,
yeah.
So that one only works for tiles and marbles and all this, right?
Correct.
Okay, what about parquet that you mentioned? How can I tell that whether a parquet is in good condition or not?
Okay, so parquet basically, if it turns black, areas that is quite close to wet areas like the bathrooms or kitchen, these are considered damage, so it's quite hard to salvage. But generally, if you don't see any dark spots or black marks around these areas, they are pretty well maintained.
Okay,
right.
So which means that one you can save up. I mean, flooring is one of the very big chunk of the renovation cost, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Understand. That's a good way. Okay, so what are some ways that we can go about saving on renovation costs?
Saving on renovation costs.
Yeah, because the thing now is renovation costs can vary. Some people can spend $20,000, some people can spend $200,000.
Yes.
So what is the difference in there? Okay lah, materials used is one, but what other things?
Okay, so it boils down to we put it a very simple term: the wants and essential. So
okay.
So why some people can spend 20 and some spend 200? The needs and wants is very different. So one way to put it. The other way of putting it, it's of course the first question that you mentioned. If you can find a house that has a lot of things that is intact and doesn't require a lot of replacement or repairs, of course you save a lot from there. And the other thing is, although I do renovations and all this, I don't recommend too much built-ins. Okay, why? Because property market here in Singapore is people loves to purchase, and then when it gets higher, price get higher, value gets better, they sell it.
That's true. Very true.
right? Of course, if you think that this is the home that, that you're going to stay for the next 50, 60 years, yeah, please go ahead with the $200,000.
But very unlikely, right?
So yeah, like I said, it's the need and the wants.
Okay.
Right.
So when it comes to renovating, what is the main bulk of the cost? Usually, what is the most expensive part of a whole renovation?
Two of them. One is the wet works. That means it's all the tiling works. The other one would be carpentry.
Okay.
these are
So
the
which means if let's say people want to save on cost, the best would be number one to do to cut down on tiling work, and number two is to cut down on built-in carpentry, like you mentioned, right?
Yes.
So because they're not going to stay there forever. Okay, got it. Very
correct.
good. Okay, so what are some of the common mistakes people usually make when it comes to renovating their homes?
They have no limit on keep adding things.
Okay, tell me more about it. What do you mean by no limit of keep adding things?
So when especially for first-time homeowner, you have been suppressing your crave of a new home, right? Your first home. You've seen a lot of, you do a lot of research. You've seen a lot of houses, a lot of beautiful homes that you can find online, on magazines, everywhere on social media.
On Instagram. Whoa, there's a lot of pictures
Yes.
there.
So you can pour anytime, any
Yes.
day, right? The thing is when it comes to you selected the ID, then you go for it to begin renovation. Then in the midst of renovations, you will see things starting to build up, and you get a little more hype or excited about it. So probably you will find that the budget that I previously put or spent can only give me up to 60% of satisfaction.
Okay.
Right. So I wanted more. So I will check with my ID what can be added. Right. So you just keep adding and adding, and that's the problem with people. They can't stop at the point of time. Correct.
So when you're adding, it will add on to number one, the renovation cost.
Yes.
Number two, the timeline as well. And I think the
Correct.
timeline will be affected.
Yes.
Right?
Greatly. Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. Okay. So before we start on any renovation project, what would you suggest homeowners do then?
I wouldn't say that it applies to everybody, but it's best that homeowners can when they're doing research, right? They can pin down to what are the colors that they like. What are the I wouldn't say style, but maybe places they have been to, or pictures when they look at it, they find that it's very soothing, very comfortable for them. Okay, because a lot of you see a lot of topics we talk about renovations or new homes, all this people like to categorize as a style of a house, right?
So there are different styles out there, right?
Correct.
Like what, contemporary,
Yes.
modern,
Yeah.
what, industrial, is it?
Eclectic, yeah, a lot.
Scandinavian, very popular, a lot of people like. And
Yes.
then recently there's a new one, what, wabi sabi or something
Yes,
like that,
yes.
Japanese lines and all this.
Correct.
Yeah.
So in a way, there are too many, I would say, like too defined in a way, which makes homeowners or people that are not really into this line, they don't really understand what is going on.
Okay.
Why this is called this certain style.
Okay, so instead of going for the style, you would suggest that they go for the color palette that they
Yes.
like, and maybe certain lines and all this.
Correct.
Okay.
Like some like people that love Scandinavian or Victorian style, they love to have like beadings on the doors. They love to have handles, knobs, and all this. So you can identify simple things like this. Don't go into like a expert line. Okay, I like Scandinavian. Okay, so usually.
Okay. And because that line is not very well defined, right? It's always crossed over. Even now, for example, myself, I still cannot figure modern, contemporary. What's the difference?
Yeah, so this is a job for the ID to do,
Yes,
to identify
okay,
for you.
okay.
So we are here to help you understand what you like.
Got it. Very good. Okay, so color palette, go and do your homework on color palette, the kind of style that you like, then show it to the ID.
Yes.
Then I have one question for you. Just off my mind one. What is the difference between a contractor and ID?
So contractors, okay, layman term, I call a contractor
Okay.
and he listens to my command to do whatever I want to do.
Okay.
That's all. That's all for contractor. So ID in Singapore, ID tie up with contractor as well.
Okay.
So to do like people love to say one-stop service. Like you get an ID, ID will do the renovations and everything for you. So what happened here is it's ID actually needs to provide not just renovation service. They need to tell you, they need to direct you, like what kind of things that you can do or you can't do for a house, for your house, because every house shapes and maybe the lightings and all this, they're very different, right? They're
True,
very
a
unique.
contractor will not be able to tell you where you should put your lighting.
Correct.
To give you that kind of effect and all this kind of thing.
Yes.
So ID will probably, provide a much better aesthetic overall for your house as
Correct.
compared to a contractor.
Yes, and advice. So we provide more consultation.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, rather than whatever
Just
you
do,
tell
do,
me.
do.
Correct.
Okay. So usually, let's say in today's market, okay, for a 3-bedroom condo,
Yes.
how much would the renovation cost be?
3-bedder as in new launch or?
Let's say the resale market.
Okay, resale market. Let's say we do a full overhaul.
Okay.
3-bedder. I would say it's easily 100,000, easily right now.
Okay,
these days.
because
okay, I would say before COVID period, like maybe
Okay.
2 years ago, it's roughly at 70, 80.
wow, that's quite a significant jump, 30% increase. Okay.
Okay, why is that? Because to provide renovations for a house, usually you will have a group, you will have like maybe 14 to 15 different parties of contractors to do a house. So every material cost of these contractors.
So you have the flooring, you have the windows, you have the paint, and then the carpentry, and then
the hinges, all the hardwares they are using, all this.
So
and
because of material cost increase,
yes.
manpower cost increase as well.
No, sadly.
Okay.
No.
So what will actually determine whether, like say, $100,000 is an average, right? Okay,
Yes.
for a 3-bedder condo these days. So what will determine whether it will go a little bit lesser, or it will go like higher than that?
Okay, material costs plays
Okay.
a big part of it.
So choice of materials,
Yes.
marble versus tiles,
Correct.
parquet versus vinyl, for example.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So this actually relates to the very first question. Like, if you check on the condition, everything is good. And you doesn't like the outlook, you can always choose to overlay. But if you have problems inlay,
So overlay is actually a way that people can actually save a lot of cost.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because you save on hacking costs, right?
Yes.
And you save on the wet works.
Correct. So like manpower for wet works, you save building materials like cement and all that.
Okay.
You save on tiles.
Okay, that's true. So thank you. That's a nice tip. Okay. All right. So what suggestions do you have for first-time home buyers?
First-time home buyers.
Yeah.
Do more essential things rather than wants. Okay, why first home owners? I advise that is because like if you buy a HDB or if you buy a new launch and all this, like again, unless you stay there for 50 years, 60 years. Right?
Yes. Oh, I have heard of a lot of young couples, right? Like you mentioned, you go to like Instagram, they have a lot of home inspiration.
Yes.
Then they bought a new BTO, and then they spend a few $100,000 doing up that BTO. And then they will tell me that, I'm going to stay here forever. This is my forever home. And then 5 years, when they reach MOP, they will give Paul and I a call. Hey, we want to sell our house already. We get it a lot.
Yes, that's the thing. So when you're trying to sell, and it can't be like I'll sell it with furnishing, or I sell it with my creative design, right? You can't do that.
True.
So
it will help to fetch a little bit higher when it comes to selling price, but not that significant, correct? Yeah.
correct. So it's like maybe not even a fraction of what you're spent.
Yes, I agree.
Right.
That's true.
So first homeowners, I would say that if you really enjoy lifestyle, work-life balance and all this, it's best to actually have your ID to shortlist what are the good furnishings, right? All these furnishings, you can bring it to your new home.
Ah, that's a nice tip. So instead of having built-in, we buy furnishings and
Correct.
then which you can bring.
Yes.
Okay.
And then of course, like the trend of social media is like every few months you always have different trends, even for interior design as well. So all this makes it very simple and flexible for you. If you're a very trendy person, you can actually switch like TV consoles and all this.
So instead of spending a few $1,000s on a TV wall, feature wall, so invest in a nice TV console that we
Correct.
can bring to our
Yes.
next house and all this.
Right. So
Very useful.
So what you need to spend is really like because like new launches, usually they have all the floorings and maybe some fittings they are ready. What you can do is like doing a small little makeover, so you can spend on that. Just enjoy the aesthetics and all this, and then with your nice furnishings, that will do.
Okay, thanks guys for being with us today. Thank you, Martin, once again. Alright guys, so if you feel that today's sharing has been useful, do like and share our video, subscribe to our channels, follow us on our Facebook, Instagram and YouTube, for more tips on property investments and home. Okay, we will see you in our next episode of ATE Ask the Experts. Thank you, bye bye.